6 months ago, I was spoiled, I was selfish, I didn't really care about anything, but now, like, I don't know, like, I've learned a lot of stuff, and it's different now. Like, I can see things in different perspectives, and how it, like, before I would have ran from something, and now, like, I have the forethought to think about things and think things through and, like, see how it can come about, you know, and, like, turn things around and flip it around so that it turns out to be a positive thing instead of something totally negative. For me, it would be very blurry, very dark. Like, I would picture, like, kind of like a rainy day, you know, like cloudy above and rain coming down, and sometimes it would stop and sometimes it wouldn't, and it was just like, it was sporadic and very dark and ugly, and there was a short future ahead because I could never picture anything in front of me. It was just in the moment, right then and there, and I didn't know what would come next, or if I even wanted to know what would come next. It was just kind of a plain, very plain painting. Now it's very focused, it's very clear. Like, I can see a future ahead of me. I can see, like, events and hanging out with family, and it's very colorful, and I can see things a lot clearer now, and it just, like, I picture like a bright sunny day. Like, it's like the sun is shining at a park, you know, hanging out with your friends or hanging out with your family, just sitting back, hanging out. It's peaceful. It's peaceful to me. Peaceful and content. The lowest point I remember was I just wanted to give up. I was done. I didn't see any point anymore. Like, I knew that that was my life and there was no way out of it, and I just wanted to do anything in my power that I could to end it, because I didn't want my family to go through having to deal with me every single day for the rest of their lives. So I just wanted to end it all right there, to stop them from having to deal with it. I was at my brother's house, in his apartment, in his bathroom, and I tried to overdose. I shot up a lot of heroin. I remember tying off my arm, and then the next thing I remember, he was banging on the door, asking me what I was doing, and I told him I was taking a bath, and he said that it had been 6 hours. And I remember waking up and my head was ringing, like the worst headache I've ever had in my life. And I just remember thinking, like, God, I'm still alive. I started doing drugs when I was about 15, 16 years old, right when I was getting into high school. And, like, first it was just recreational fun, you know, on the weekends, hanging out with my friends. And then one of my friends had broke his back and started getting prescriptions, and we would just take those. And I remember I took them because they gave me energy, and I could stay up and, like, clean, and I loved it, you know. And it went from there on to Oxycontin because it was stronger, and then it got, like, expensive. It was very expensive to get a hold of pills. And I remember on my birthday, my 19th birthday, I couldn't get any, and I knew someone that did heroin, and I asked him if we could go get some, and he was like, no, don't ever ask me that again. So I was like, okay, so I just kind of left it alone, and then like 10 minutes later, he was like, all right, let's go. And I remember thinking, I'm only gonna do it for today, just cause it's my birthday, you know, and then that's it. I'll go back and I'll be fine. And then from that point on, it was the same thing, just a lot cheaper. So I kept doing it, and then I remember always telling myself, I can stop whenever I want. I just don't want to, I don't need to, why would I? You know, I had a good job, I had plenty of money, and then all of a sudden, my money was gone. I went from paying my bills on time or early, having my own car, to having no job, having my car repossessed, getting kicked out of my house numerous times because my mom would walk in on me, pass out on the floor, or watch me nod out at the kitchen table, or smell it in my room with my nephew living right next door. And they could hear me every time in the bathroom, and they would kick me out for a series of days and then let me come back because I wouldn't call, nothing, and they always knew where I was at. And I'd come home and I'd promise to make things, I'd promise to change, I'd promise to do better, I'd promise to do whatever they wanted me to do. I'd come up with all these things to take Suboxone, and they would always say okay, and I would try, you know, but it only lasts for so long. And I went from the 2 weeks or the month prior to coming here, I was with my boyfriend, and he broke up with me, and my parents kicked me out on that same day because I stole $100 from my brother and like $40 out of my mom's purse in one moment, and then left. And I knew, they told me I could never go back there, so I went on kind of a rampage throughout the city and went garage hopping and stole out of people's garages, which is something that I never would have done. I never ever would have done. And I don't know what happened, like I was sleeping in vacant houses or in my car, and I went from doing a little bit to doing a lot all the time, and just hoping that that would be my last shot, that I just wouldn't wake up. And one day my mom called me and she was like, these are your choices. You either go to Habilitat or that's it, you're cut off, you're done. You know, and Tavian was in the background, my nephew was in the background, and I could hear him saying, hi Nanny, hi Nanny. And so right there I was like, okay, I'll go to Habilitat. So then I went to the library and went and looked it all up and started calling here every day. A boyfriend then to me was either a drug dealer, somebody that had a lot of money, somebody that I could stay at their house, that would take care of me, that when I called them saying that my parents kicked me out because we got in a fight, he would come pick me up. Someone that would give me money when they know I just got paid that day. Basically, someone that I could take from, that I could take anything I wanted from, get what I wanted from. And usually they didn't do drugs so that they were naive to it, so they wouldn't know any better. I'm looking forward to taking my nephews to the park by myself without having to have a supervisor around or someone coming with us all the time. I'm looking forward to having a normal life with my family and finishing school, knowing how to finish school. Basically just just being content with life. And I can see it now. When I first got here, it was very hazy, and only 6 months down the road, like I can see this whole picture in my head of how my life can be, whether it be independently living or maybe even with a family. I never considered that before because I always thought, oh my God, I would be the worst mom in the world. But like thinking about it now, like I can get my stuff together and I could be a pretty good mom. And that, I don't know, that makes me very excited about life. You ready?
You ready?
Okay. I'm hanging by a moment here with you. I'm letting go of all I've held on to. I'm standing here until you make me move. Just hanging by a moment here with you.